So we're gonna chat about my song Genesis. I wrote Genesis to be a song of celebration and to be a song of hope and excitement and new beginnings. The name Genesis means beginnings, so I wrote it based off that. It's a song that is supposed to be celebrating the colors of life, whether it's the colors of love, the colors of skin and culture. It's just wanting the most of yourself and wanting the most of other people, not being willing to just have a subdued life and not really wishing to live in a world where people are subdued. I definitely spent my whole life putting myself down and thinking more about what other people required of my life or wanted of my life. I grew up in the church. I was even a preacher for a while, which is wild, and it's like a whole other life now. It almost becomes this righteous act to put yourself down. For me, as a closeted gay man, I'm also then told all these terrible things about me and people like me. You just eventually sort of believe it. I don't know at what age that happens, but you start to believe somewhere deep inside that you are just lesser. Be quiet about yourself, that you should definitely stay in the closet, that you should definitely not live out your love. For me, I'm a big lover, and that just doesn't work. So it reached a point where I had had enough and I needed to leave the church. I needed to move and have space to just figure out what was right for me. One night I got a message that was really, really painful. People close to me saying, "What's the deal? It's been all these years. You're still not involved in the church. And why have you not come back?" And I had to, for the first time ever, kind of stand up for myself and say, well, it's not a safe place for me. And I started then kind of opened up just how much I really had been holding myself back by letting that have such control of my life. And so for the first time ever, I replied to that message and said, no, I'm not dealing with that anymore, and it's not good for me. It was terrible and difficult, and I went to bed that night just bawling. And I woke up the next day with this wave of freshness, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is a great feeling. I stood up for myself. I took the first step into creating the world that's right for me. And every single step of recording Genesis and putting the song out was then kind of cementing this new world and laying that foundation in a really great way, where it was now forcing it almost, where now I've talked about it, now I've recorded a song about it, we're putting it out there, this is happening, there's no turning back now. It's like there's no going back in the closet. All the guys who were part of the project were just a riot. We had so much fun, and it was a day and a half of just laughing and celebration in the studio. And ever since then, it's just been this life of learning to laugh and love and just have this full, colorful life. And so the hope of Genesis is really that everyone does that. Because again, it's not just about my story, it's about not wanting a monochrome world and wanting everyone's life to live in full color and full spectrum. That's Genesis.